Hi everyone, Dave here at East Rosebud Fly and Tackle in Billings, Montana. Today I'm going to show you how to tie a snow cone midge. Midges are, of course, part of the Diptera, the two-winged family. The chironomids comprise about a third of that family, so there's thousands and thousands of species. They're most prevalent in still waters like lakes and ponds, and they can grow pretty large, like this size 12 I'll tie today. The midges in streams typically tend to be much smaller, 16s, 18s, and 20s. The snow cone midge has a metal bead on it, so it's a great midge to fish under an indicator in a still water environment. Once you find out where the depth is that the fish are hanging out, it's a great midge to use. The white head is supposed to simulate the gill structures on the pupa as they're hatching. And you can also tie this, I also like it in black with a red ribbing as well. And there's other colors, olives, tans, midges come in every color available. So it's a good, if you fish lake or ponds, this is a great fly to be using to fish the chironomid hatch. I'm using UTC 140 red thread to build up the body. And this is a 1x long dry fly hook and a 1/8 inch a dazzle brass bead. This happens to be glow in the dark. Whether that has any significance, I don't know, but it's the only white bead I had. So we'll get some thread worked up here, hold the bead in place. And then I'm going to be using small Ultrawire. This is black. It's a good contrast on the red. Tie this in fairly close to the beginning and make a nice smooth thread base over this. And you want this to go slightly down around the curve of the hook to simulate the position or the posture of the midge when it's in the water. Now we're going to come back up and build up the forward third of this fly to give it a nice bold taper. And UTC thread is a nice flat thread. You do have to flatten it occasionally to keep your underbody smooth. And I'm simply contouring this hook so that we get that that contour that we're looking for here. You occasionally have to flatten your thread. You can of course tie this with 170, but you'll be flattening the thread a lot more often. Okay, you spin the thread counterclockwise. We'll come down here and start a nice smooth layer. Alright, now we'll simply take our wire and make some segments, simulate the segmentation of the pupa itself. Keep your wraps tight. And I like to open up the sequence a little bit as I come towards the head. A couple of tight wraps of thread. I'll helicopter this wire off and finish it up with a few more thread wraps to make sure we have that wire nice and secure. Finish right behind the eye, or behind the barb, the bead, I'm sorry. Now I've tried using some UV resin epoxy on this fly, but it gives it kind of a weird coating after it dries. So I've come to use this Sally Hansen's Hard Nails. It's a vinyl nail fixer, and you can put on as many coats as you like. Just make sure you give it about 5 minutes in between coats to dry, and it gives it a nice 3D appearance. So the snow cone midge, again, is a popular pattern for our lakes and ponds. Easy to tie. Give it a try.